Well, Jim, obviously we're accustomed to talking to you, after these big moments. But is it still special getting these big wins, here in Madison Square Garden, after everything you've done in your career?
Absolutely. I'm super appreciative that I'm still able to do this. A lot of hard work's gone into it, a lot of sacrifices gone into it, but the stars just kind of aligned that I've been able to remain healthy and stay here, yeah, like I get jazzed up being in front of the big crowds, like it's been a bit like since COVID happened, right? I've only had 3 fights outside of the Apex. And, and I lost one of them. So, to fight in front of a, New York, New Jersey crowd, I definitely felt like I got a pretty good, push at the weigh-ins, yesterday, and they were behind me tonight. So it's important. The sport, like the Apex is cool and it's got its purpose, but this sport was made to be in front of big crowds.
So just, you fought in MSG before, but,
Yep.
They had the scale from the Muhammad Ali Frazier thing up there. The crowd is, like, on the prelims, you probably got the biggest pop. Even the commentary, like, everyone's singing your praises. Like, Daniel Cormier's shocked you've never had a major surgery before. So I guess, like, what was fight week like? Because obviously UFC 300 we talked about for years, and then you got past that. Now you're fighting in MSG. So just what was fight week like as a whole?
It's a day at the office. Honestly, it's there are new things. There are new things that happen, and new hurdles and all that stuff. But I've gotten so accustomed to them that it's like, oh, you've got a stomach bug, or you hurt your leg, or oh, you're a pound heavier than you used to be. I was teasing my coach because he was upset about me being like a pound and a half heavier than I normally am, and I was like, I feel great. We're gonna make it because I know it's gonna suck, that weight cut. So, the experience allows me to kind of roll with those punches and not let the little things bother me, because I know the big thing is stepping onto that canvas and defending myself against somebody that's trained for weeks to beat me up.
And obviously Damon Jackson jumped the ghillie pretty deep in there. So I guess, is that how you saw the fight playing out, or just like, oh, he gave you the neck and you're like, oh, I'm taking this home now?
It was kind of how we saw it going. He's tricky. He's got a very tricky striking style. He throws kind of the awkward strikes. That front kick of his was landing. It wasn't landing super hard. Donald Cerrone kicked me a lot harder with the front kick, 10 years ago. He's kind of a tough puzzle, but we knew that he'd force the takedown, and when he did, he has a tendency to leave his neck out, and that's what I do. I said it in one of the interviews before. I was like, wrapping necks and cashing checks. That's what I love to do. Just a big hairy American winning machine.
He put his gloves on the canvas after the fight. Did you get to talk to him after at all? Because it didn't seem like he was in the mood to talk to even the broadcast.
Not really. We've never really bumped into each other, before, and haven't really had the opportunity to have a conversation with him. I will always 100%. Back fighters on their decisions when it comes to that type of stuff. I can see life through the lens that he, has to live his life with doing this for a job, and it's not easy. And there are a lot of people that would love to do it, but they can't, right? And we as fighters make a lot of sacrifices. We beat the crap out of ourselves day in, day out. I mean, that's what fight camp is. It's like, how hard can I push myself without actually hurting myself? And then, oh yeah, tomorrow I get to wake up and do the same damn thing over again. It's a tough living, and my hope is that it wasn't, it just wasn't an emotional thing. It was something that he's kind of planned on and thought about for a bit. he's a grown man. You got to make grown man decisions sometimes, and I'll back him on whatever that is. You know.
Well, in terms of your own career, what do you want next? Are we still pushing for the 50 wins, or there's a rumor Newark card in the summer? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, like the 50 is the hard stop. Okay, you guys can hold me to that shit, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%. Unless they're like a couple $1 million, 51. I'm ready to move on to other stuff. Yeah. Like there's definitely parts of me that are ready to make a commitment to something else. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be fucking hard to like not get to do this because I'm like I've never had a real job. Like I framed houses with my father. When I was in college, I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings for a little bit. Like I was a pretty crappy fry cook for a couple months there. But like, yeah, I'm a fighter. That's what I do. And I know that it's, everybody's road is different. Right. And I'm trying to create my own and be in a good spot to move on to something else. And I want to have some energy left to do other stuff. 50 is the hard stop. The goal of mine is to get to 30 wins. And so in those 5 fights, get 3 more wins and really put that one away. Just have some fun fights and fight on some big cards and fight some guys that I've been fans of for forever. And it's I feel like I'm in a really cool spot. I'm in a different spot than most people, and I'm in a different spot than most fighters before me. It's like, I want to go out and I want to put on shows, but it's like I've cemented, Jim fucking Miller, right? I'm going to go out and I'm going to finish people, or I'm going to get my fucking ass kicked trying to do it. Sure. I'm finding the easy way out inside the octagon. Chael has said it. Quitting is the easiest thing in the world to do. It's so painfully easy to find your way out. Things aren't going my way. I broke my hand. I got a giant cut over my eye. Maybe I should just turtle up. Nobody would think any less of me. But I know that I've got that guillotine, and I know that I've got some of these other things. So it's burned into my brain that playing wiffle ball with my friends as a kid, bottom of the 9th, bases are loaded, it's a full count. I'm still trying to hit that home run, and somebody could be punching me in the face while it's happening, but I'm still looking for it. You know what a Jim Miller fight is, and I'm proud of that. And that's part of the reason why through some of the tougher times in my career, I'm still here, because it's what I do.
So in these 5 fights, I feel like you're a guy that can ask for guys that, rematches and veterans like yourself. Are there names that you want for these 5 fights, or are you just happy to do the Jim Miller thing and fight whoever they put in front of you?
I'm happy to fight whoever they got for me. There are some cool fights, I think, left. There are a lot of guys. I like fighting guys that I'm a fan of, a big fan of. I am interested in maybe bumping up to 70 and fighting some guys up there. Because I feel like at this point, I am the old guy at lightweight, by far, right?
Like you've been the old guy.
Yeah. Whoa. But yeah, I think there's still some fun fights and cool opportunities to, cement the legacy and put on a show and get paid in the process.
And that last one for me, did you give a shout out to Peanut? Is that what we heard?
I did give a shout out to Peanut.
What prompted that?
Just a disdain for what some of this has become, right? I'm sure the night that, on that day where they raided a couple's home at gunpoint, so that means they're willing to kill them. And accidents happen, right? It might not be on purpose, but they're willing for bad things to happen over a pet squirrel that has lived inside for the last 7 years. that day, I'm sure that there were kids here in New York City that went to bed hungry. I'm sure that there were people here that went to sleep on the streets. I'm sure that there were kids that were in really dangerous situations at home that weren't helped and weren't pulled from that, you know. And as a taxpayer, our resources. Well, I'm not a New York resident, so technically it wasn't my money. It was everybody that lives here, right? But like as a taxpayer, your work, your effort went into confiscating a fucking squirrel. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous the amount of assets that were used, you know. And it's funny coming from a guy that eats squirrel. Yeah. Right? Like, like there's there's two sides to Jim, right? You know, like I'm a hunter and stuff like that, but it's like you know, I freaking love animals, man, and like this is somebody's pet. And again, it's not even about the pet. It's the fact that I value human life more than a pet's, right? And that it's like there could have been other things that were done with all that fucking money that would have helped people's lives, not just made a spectacle out of it. And it was like, you know, oh, hey, we're bored today. What are we going to do? Oh, let's go get this squirrel that, you know, somebody's got 500,000 followers on Instagram or some shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Please, somebody needs to make it make sense. Because how many people were like, yeah, this is awesome use of our time. Like, this is what I want to do. Nobody. And nobody said, hold on, let's reevaluate. Let's do something else.
So did you when you brought up Peanut, because you're clearly fired up about
oh my God, I get
like I think 'cause people that watched it probably said like, oh, that's a trending news story. Maybe he's just trying to talk to the fans, but you're legit angry at this. Did you plan this shout out? Like,
I might have. I might have for the first time in 45 or so 27 wins, right? Like how many times have I had that mic, you know, with Joe's hand or Biz Bing's or somebody else's? You know, and I use the platform to talk about a squirrel, you know, and the mismanagement of funds at the state level.
R.I.P. Peanut. I think everybody got fired about that one. Looking at your career and then looking at today, I mean, I know we always ask, you know, like, where did this one rank up? But I mean, as you know, like you said, there's the 50 coming up. Mm-hmm. Where does this rank for you tonight, this moment, this special, and just let alone just the eyeballs? You know, you got the president-elects out there. Everybody's looking at this event. Where does this one rank in all these great fights that you've had?
You know, the way that I have always looked at it is the most recent is
the most important.
The most important, right? Even this one, right? We're only an hour removed, not even, right? It's behind me now. Now we're moving on to the next one, you know? So it's part of my journey. It's part of the things that have shaped me. And yeah, like I'm happy about it. It was a good performance. It was a great crowd. And yeah, but like it's also it's already in the past. So let's go home, heal, and then get back in the gym and start worrying about that next one.
And I had the computer, or the AI, sort of look up UFC 400. I think it said 2031.
No, it's not even funny.
But 50 is it, huh?
50 will be it, yeah.
Now, I know you've always consulted the wife and the family. Was that the consensus that the family did, or is this something that you came on yourself and you said 50 is going to be it?
I wear the pants. No, yeah, you know, my wife and I talk about it. I mean, she's seen the highest highs, and she's seen the lowest parts of the lows, and you know, she's been behind me pretty much the entire road, right? I met her right before my second fight at the first gym, you know, that I trained at or we trained at. And I know the hard nights are hard on her, and she doesn't. She knows that I love it, and she knows that it's, you know, who I am and what I do, and she doesn't complain about it, but she sees me, you know, hobble like an old man to the bathroom when I get up out of bed, you know, some days. So yeah, we both feel the same way, right? Like I want to have the ability and the energy to do, you know, other things in my life. And, you know, 41 is an old lightweight, but it's not an old man, right? So, yeah, there's plenty of things left to do, and I can't wait. There are parts of me that can't wait, you know, like that's why I embrace every second that I get to feel that canvas on my feet. You know, it's a special place, and yeah, I can't wait for the next one.
And just a couple quick ones. You said that you have a different sort of grip when it comes to your guillotine choke. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so there's like a million different guillotine chokes, and the way that jiu-jitsu is going right now is that there's like 45 names for each position too. Some of them have Japanese in them, some of them still have a little Portuguese in them. Like it's Brian always loses me when he starts throwing out the nomenclature, because I just show me the move, don't tell me the name, right? It's like, oh, this one's got 4 names. But yeah, my guillotine choke, the attack doesn't go to the carotid; it goes up underneath the chin and affects the hyoid bone. So I go from a nice like chin strap grip, and I pull that, and I just roll my thumb like from the chin up underneath the neck, and the other hand is wrapping that arm, and that holds the arm down so they can't you know, get out or have a tougher time getting out. But it also holds their chest close to mine. So it's got a different feeling when it happens to you, you know, like it's almost like a gagging.
I was gonna say it's more painful than actually cutting off the blood and then like losing consciousness.
Yeah. And the thing of it is I don't like moving my hands. Like when I can gain a position of control, I don't want to move my hands, because that's when like there's opportunity for somebody to control my hand. So I try to minimize the amount of movement that I have where my grip is, and the whole like action of the choke is like I really like using the full guard as opposed to a half guard with it, because then I can really affect their torso and roll their torso up over their head like I did tonight. So it almost like puts you know, my thumb in their neck, and then I'm folding their neck down around my thumb, like almost like a, you know, bicep cutter, calf cutter type thing. So the guys that train with me know what it feels like, you know. So yeah, it's just one of those things that I can do in my sleep, and yeah, I think that's 4 now in the octagon.
Yeah, it was super effective. He tapped super quick. It seemed like it was almost instantaneous once you had it locked in. And last one for me, the U.S. Air Force has decided to retire the A-10s. Did you think that you would ever outlive the A-10s?
You know, I don't think that's a very good decision. You know, it's like, no, I mean, like, I think it's a cool plane, and from what I understand, those that fight on the ground are not happy about it. Now, granted, I understand that, you know, the battlefield has changed, right? From what I know about it, right? But so maybe it's not as effective nowadays as it will be, or it was rather. But I don't. They could send me a couple rounds if they want. You know, they're kind of hard to come by. You know, maybe like a barrel. You know, just send me one of the barrels. Yeah, right. You know, like you know what I really want is like I want my custom shorts, and I want it to be the face of the A10. That would be cool. I would dig that. You know, I think other people, you know, when they buy it. Yeah.
Hey Jim, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, in regards, you kind of emphasize on the magnitude of where, you know, the victory and you know, fighting here in MSG, but how much does this win mean to you, being from Jersey, also being from Jersey, understanding what it is across that bridge, and just for everyone watching, and I'm assuming all your friends and families got to be here. You know, what did that mean, kind of having that Jersey pride behind?
Actually, not a lot of my family are here. You know, I was trying to get the kids here. It's just, you know, they're 4, you know, 14 to 9, right? I got 4 kids in that, so it's like an event like this, they get washed away in some of the crowds. So like you gotta have adults for all of them at this point. But and the extra security tonight. So made things a little difficult. But yeah, I appreciate the crowd probably more than anybody. Like man, it's that's like my favorite part is hearing it. And because the thing that I suffer from is so much tunnel vision that when I'm actually fighting, I don't hear anything. I don't hear my corner. I didn't hear my corner in the Apex when there were no fans because of the way my friggin' brain works. So like I don't hear them during the fight. I hear them like after the fight or between rounds, right? I can still hear the crowd in Vegas at 155, right? Fighting Joe Lozon. Like I can still hear it. And yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to be, kind of hometown. And who knows, like this might be the last time that I fight close to home. So, yeah, to go out and have a good victory and put a good show on for the fans is awesome. And, yeah, I appreciate everybody that, supports me and is a fan.
Last question right here, sir. Congrats, Jim. Just real quick, did you see Dustin Poirier's tweet?
I didn't see it, but I heard it.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
For the fans. What was your reaction? He said, "You miss all the ones, you don't jump." Congratulations.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. He's a wise man. He's a wise man. Thank you, guys.